and 5 lonely nights. Hey, 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 beautiful people. Welcome to the latest episode of Kiande's Music Review. Of course, I'm your host, Kiande, and as always, I'm excited to share this time with you. Yes, it's been a minute since I've been here. I had to step away from this platform just for a minute so I could focus on a couple other things, but I did not forget about you. And I'm here, I am back, and I am excited. So today we have something very special. By request, a few people have asked me about this, and that is to share 10 more of my all-time favorite albums. And I am here for that today. And if you enjoy this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I truly, truly appreciate you. So, you guys ready to get into it? I'm ready. Of course, I have my sweet tea. I have this wonderful music playing. And most of all, I have you beautiful people to share this time with. Alright, so I am an album person. I love music, but particularly I love a full album, a full project by an artist. And there have been many albums that have lasted with me most of my life or all of my life, and this is my opportunity to share some of them with you. I'm going to do a few more of these videos to end out 2020 with, so have a conversation with me about some of your favorite albums on this list or some of your own personal favorites, all right? So let's jump right into it and see what we got, all right? So first up, the first album is from rap duo EPMD and their album Strictly Business. Yes, you guys see that? This is their debut album. It was released June 1998 on Fresh Sleeping Bee Records. This album was introduced to me by a dude in high school by the name of Eric. I don't know whatever happened to Eric, but he made a cassette tape for me of this album, and I played it over and over. I wore that cassette tape out, and I loved it. I continued to follow EPMD, but this album right here was the one that did it for me. The duo is known for their lighthearted, laid-back rapping style, and it's evident throughout this album. The singles were I'm Housing, You Got to Chill, and the title track, Strictly Business. But it also featured a song called Jane, which features one of my all-time favorite lines in hip-hop, and that is, she's fly, haircut like Anita Baker, looked her up and down and said, I'll take her. Yes, y'all know how I love Anita, so of course I love that line. But this album went gold, and it still stands out as one of the best works by EPMD. All right? Moving on? Yes, all right. So next up, we have the self-titled debut album by Acapella gospel group Take 6. Yes, you guys see that? Yes, Take 6. This was released in 1988 on the Reprise label. It was received well by both gospel and jazz audiences, which is a feat in itself. These guys could just sing. You could not touch Take 6 when it came to their harmonies, their execution, their precision. They were so cohesive with one another, and it just was a beautiful thing to experience. This platinum-selling album featured songs Spread Love, Gold Mine, Getaway Jordan, and one of their staples, If I Ever Needed the Lord Before. They would go on to record many more albums, both a cappella and with bands. It was always, always beautiful. But this album was a great introduction to a wonderful, wonderful group. All right? So who we got next? We have legendary jazz trumpeter Mr. Wynton Marsalis and his album Standard Time Volume 3, Resolution of Romance. Let me show it to you. Yes, I love Wynton. He's one of my favorite musicians, and I love this album. This was released May 1990 on Columbia Records. It features his father, Ellis Marsalis, rest in peace, on piano. It also was produced by his brother, Delfio. So this was pretty much a family affair, and it shows on the recording. It's a beautiful collection of standard material, including Where or When, A Sleeping Bee, The Very Thought of You, and My Romance. I love this album. It has a lot of songs on it, but it doesn't feel so long because the album is so beautiful. It was #1 Billboard Top Jazz Albums, and rightfully so because it's a standout in Wynton Marsalis' collection. All right? So get that if you don't have it. All right? So next up, we have beautiful songstress, Miss Phyllis Hyman, and her album Prime of My Life. Yes, Miss Phyllis, Prime of My Life. This was released June 1991 on Philadelphia International Records. It was her second album for the label and her final album released before her untimely death a few years later. It's arguably her finest work. Many people cite this as their favorite Phyllis album, and it is definitely my favorite Phyllis album. I love the work that she did on Philadelphia International Records. I thought this collaboration should have been, years prior, but it was here and we got it, and it was beautiful with this album and the previous album, Living All Alone. But this album had the songs Don't Want to Change the World, Living in Confusion, When You Get Right Down to It, Meet Me on the Moon, Flawless. And my favorite Phyllis Hyman song, When I Give My Love This Time. Oh yes, oh yes. This gold-selling album was her biggest seller, I believe, and opened doors for her in a lot of different ways. I believe she had 2 #1 singles on this album, and it was perfect. Absolute perfection. So again, Phyllis Hyman, prime of my life. All right, what we got next? Mr. Dave Hollister and his debut album, Ghetto Hymns. Yes, Ghetto Hymns. I love Dave Hollister. This album was released after his stints with the groups Force One Network and, of course, Blackstreet. It was released May 1999 on DreamWorks label. I call it soul and gospel meet the streets because his voice can take you to all those places. I just love his sound, his tone, his execution. Everything is wonderful. I love Dave Hollister. The singles were My Favorite Girl, Baby Mama Drama, and Can't Stay Away, but also included highlights such as Came in the Door Pimpin', yes, and his slowed down remake of Michael McDonald's I Keep Forgetting, which he totally transformed and made it something fresh and new for himself. So great job. The album went gold and is a standout in his repertoire. Ghetto Hymns. Yes. All right. Guys, still with me? Still out there? Yes. All right. I know some of y'all are like, what's going on with his hair? I don't know. I was just doing something. Anyway, next up we have Edie Brickell and the New Bohemians and their album Shooting Rubberbands at the Stars. Yes, love this album. It was released August 1998 on the Geffen label. My friend Michael Grace and I, we were so wrapped up in this album. We played it all the time, talked about it all the time, and just loved this album. If you're watching this video, Mike, what's up? Reach me, contact me. All right. Anyway, it was Bohemian alternative rock. And Edie Brickell's voice was the perfect vehicle for this sound. It had the songs What I Am, I'm sure y'all remember that, Circle, and Little Miss S. It was just a great project. Unfortunately, I didn't follow her career. This album was lightning in the bottle for me because I was just focused on this one. But I'm sure she did some great material after this, but this is the one for me. It was double platinum and a great, great project. So again, Edie Brickell. All right. Next up we have vocal group Side Effect and their album What You Need. Let me show you this. Yes, that's who I'm listening to, by the way, Side Effect. A lot of people don't know about Side Effect, and it's unfortunate because they released a lot of great albums in the 70s and 80s, but this one in particular was released in 1976 on Fantasy Records, and I call it honky tonk jazz, funk, and soul. That's a lot going on, right? But it was a sound that was executed by founder Augie Johnson, may he rest in peace, and producer Wayne Henderson. In their career, they had a lot of different female vocalists to fill that slot, including Sylvia Neighbors, Sylvia St. James, and Mickey Howard. We love Mickey Howard, right? But this particular album is the only album that featured a vocalist by the name of Helen Lowe, who would later in years become known as gospel artist Helen Baylor. Yes, we know Helen Baylor. But this album had the songs SOS, I Know You Can, Keep That Same Old Feeling, and the hit vocal version of the Ronnie Law song, Always There. This album, again, they recorded a lot of great music, but this album is arguably their most beloved because of Always There, because that was such a big hit for them. They had such a raw, beautiful, beautiful sound. I just love Side Effect. If you don't know about them, check them out. Check out this album. You won't go wrong. All right? So next up, oh my God, we have a titan, a legend. He's phenomenal. He's brilliant. He's everything. And that is Sam Cooke and his album, Mr. Soul. Yes, I love Sam Cooke. When I think about great vocalists, there are certain people that really put all the way up there. One of the things that I look for in a great vocalist is their tone. And when I think about great tones, I think of Sarah Vaughan, I think of Donny Hathaway, and I think of Sam Cooke. This album in particular, it was released in 1963 on the RCA Victor label. You know, Sam could be a soulful shouter or a caressing crooner, depending on the material he chose to sing. This album is the mellower side of Sam and included songs like These Foolish Things, Cry Me a River, and my absolute favorite rendition of Willow, Weep for Me. Perfect. Perfect. His vocals are intimate, his technique is impeccable, and Sam Cooke did it on this album. So Mr. Soul, added to your collection. Yes. All right. So we're down to two. That went by fast. Two albums. This one is by singer, songwriter, Miss Angela Bofill and her album Angie. Yes. Whew, this was her debut album on GRP label. It was released in 1978. It is jazz, it's Latin, it's rhythm and blues, it's all those things. Her sound was so unique. Her vocal delivery, her vocal tone was all her own. She didn't sound like anybody else, and that made her stand out from the rest. But she would go on to record great music. But this debut album right here is the one that sticks with me the most. The songs included This Time I'll Be Sweeter, Share Your Love, Baby I Need Your Love, and the phenomenal, masterpiece, Under the Moon and Over the Sky. Such an incredible moment. I love Angela Bofill. I would love for her to sing again, but I live on the music and the memories. So this is it again, Angie. Add that to your collection. All right, so we have one album left, just one. And this one was tough. This one was tough because there were several albums I wanted to choose from this artist, but I didn't know which one I wanted to go for. But I said, I know why I'm going to choose this one. And it is Prince, Sign of the Times. Yes, see that? Sign of the Times. Prince. This is his 9th studio album. And we know Prince is a musical genius. It was released March 1987 on Paisley Park, Warner Brothers. It is a double album. We loved to get a double album back in the day. It was a treat for us. But Prince, he did it on this album. It was socially conscious. It was funky. It was playful. It was sexy. It was spiritual. All those things. And had the songs, Sign of the Times, the title track, Housequake, yes, Hot Thing, If I Was Your Girlfriend, You Got the Look, featuring Sheena Easton, the Ballad of Dorothy Parker, and Adore. Yes, which is my go-to song when it comes to Prince. I love Adore. But this is arguably his most beloved album. It stands as some of his best work. And I chose this album because it recently received a re-release in the form of a vinyl and CD box set with tons of bonus material. So if you have not checked that out, please get it. It's worth the money. If you're a Prince fan, you will absolutely adore this collection. So, Prince, Sign of the Times, one more time. Yes. So, that's what I have for you. 10 more of my favorite albums. Please, in the comments, let's talk about some of these albums, list some of your favorites, some of your favorite songs from them, and let's have a conversation and continue the dialogue, all right? So, again, if you enjoyed this video, please like, share, comment, and subscribe. I love you for it. But, I'm going to continue on with my evening. I'm going to drink this sweet tea. I'm going to listen to some music, and I'm going to carry on, all right? So I hope you guys are continuing to take care of yourselves, take care of each other, being safe, being just feeling good about yourselves during these troubling times, all right? Also, I hope you had a wonderful Thanksgiving. Yes. All right, so until we meet again, I want you guys to remember, it's all about music. It's all about love, all right? So you guys take care. Until the next time, peace.